Good morning, Church With You. How are we doing this morning? We are so happy to have you here this morning. Y'all stand and sing with
us. We have a story of grace. We have an anthem of hope. We have a reason to praise. Come on. We are redeemed and restored. You are the great liberator from our shame. By the blood of the Savior, everything broken will change. Come on! Oh, this will be our day of victory. Our chains are gone. Now I am free indeed. Every debt is paid by amazing grace. All that's left is to celebrate your love has won. I'm free indeed. My jubilee has come. Who's singing Jubilee this morning? Let me hear you. No longer slaves of the past. This is the year of the Lord. Here at the foot of the cross, we are outsiders no more. You made a way through the darkness into your marvelous light. You broke the bondage that held us. Now we are fully alive. Oh, this will be our day of victory. My chains are gone. Now I am free indeed. Every debt is paid by amazing grace. All that's left is to celebrate our love has won. I'm free indeed. My jubilee has come. Can you give Jesus a shout in this place? Raise a jubilee right here, right now, today, because he saved us from all of our past and we're marching into the future. Sing this out. You shook the walls of my prison. You brought me back from the grave. You turned my measure to dancing. Into the night I proclaim that this will be my day of victory. My chains are gone. Now I am free indeed. Every debt is paid by amazing grace. All that's left is to celebrate my love has come. Free indeed, my jubilee has come. My jubilee has come.
Man, what's up, Church Online family? I am so glad that you are joining us again this week. Man, we know you could have been so many other places, like you're online. You could have gone to a million other websites, but you are here with us, and we are so grateful for that. And we want to get to know you. So please, like I've said, like we always say, fill out an online Connect card. Guys, you can click on Connect card at the top of your screen or in the live chat. Go ahead and just fill out that information. And I promise you, we are not going to do anything weird with it, okay? Like, we have the hassle-free guarantee. We are not going to sell your information. We are not going to email you a million times. We're not going to text you off the wall. We just want to write you a letter at the beginning of the week and say thank you. Thank you for joining us in our online community. It means the world to us. We're going to transition into a time of giving. Now, your generosity, it is unbelievable. One thing about Church With You that's always been unbelievable is how generous our people are. We have been able to do everything we do debt-free. Yes, we are 6 years old. We have zero debt, and that is because of your generosity. Now that's awesome and all, but what it allows us to do is serve our communities and serve our church members more and more because we don't have something hanging over our head. And that's a big deal. And we thank you for your generosity. Now, we're going to go ahead and jump into another song. Get up, stand up. Come on, let's get into this thing.
just can't win the fight. I'm slowly drifting about your mind. And just when I ran out of road, I met a man I didn't know, and he told me that I was not alone. You picked me up, you turned me around, and placed my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, because you healed my heart, you changed my name, forever free. I'm not the same. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, I thank God. Come on!
Cannot deny what I've seen. I got no choice but to believe my doubts are burning. Come on! Like ashes in the wind. So long to my old friends. My burden and bitterness, you just gotta keep moving. Now you ain't welcome here. From now till I walk the streets of gold, I'll sing your, you save my soul. This wayward son has found his way back home. You pick me up, you turn me around, place my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, because you healed my heart, you changed my name, forever free. I'm not the same. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, I thank God.
This next part that we're about to sing out, it says, hell lost another one. And that's what we're going to pray for today. That if you don't know Jesus today, that you will. And that hell is going to lose another one. Let's sing it out. Hell lost another one. I am free. I am free. I am free. Hell lost another one. I am free. Oh, I am free. I am free. Hell lost another one. I am free. Oh, I am free. I am free. Hell lost another one. I am free. I am free. You picked me up, you turned me around, placed my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, because you healed my heart, you changed my name, forever free. I'm not the same. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, I thank God. Come on, we're gonna sing it out one more time. You picked me up. Let's go. You picked me up. You turned me around. Placed my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master. I thank the Savior, because you healed my heart. You changed my name, forever free. I'm not the same. I thank the Master. I thank the Savior. I thank God.
You guys have a seat and check out this video.
What's going on, everybody? Y'all doing good? You don't seem like you're doing so good. You out of breath? When I was out of breath after that one song, come on, I was getting it, man. I'm telling you. Come on, can we just give it up for our bands? Come on, Enterprise, Ozark, absolutely crushing it. Absolutely crushing it, man. I'm ready today. I'm fired up and ready to go. And man, before we go any further, let's welcome everybody. You ready? We got our Ozark location joining us right now. We got Church Online joining us, people from all over the world. So come on, put your hands together. Let's welcome everybody to church. Come on. Yeah. Man, I love it. Hey, we start a brand new series today called Forgotten Virtues. And to be honest with you, I can't tell you of a better time that we should probably talk about some virtues that may have been forgotten in the world that we live in. And here's kind of how I want to piece this together. I want to give you some kind of an outline of where we're going over the next couple of weeks. Then I want to give you some context of why we're talking about this and why it matters. And kind of give you an illustration for you to keep in your mind for the rest of the series that we're in, this Forgotten Virtues series. So here's kind of the outline of where we're going. Next week is Mother's Day, everybody. Come on. Listen, I helped some fathers out right there in that moment. You had forgotten until I said something. But now you're like, oh, yeah. So you'll be on your phone on Amazon the rest of the service. But that's all right. That's all right. You can miss a message if it saves your marriage. Are you following me? Come on, I'm just trying to help you out. But it's Mother's Day next week. It's going to be incredible. We got something super special for you. So you don't want to miss next week. But next week we are talking about the forgotten virtue of purity. Like what it means, how we see it and what it means to our lives. And then the very next week, in the world that we live in the cancel culture that we live in. Come on, I've been friends with you for 20 years, but if you don't agree with me over this touchy subject, I will defriend you, I will forget your number, and if you call me, I will ghost you. Come on, in that world that we live in, we're going to talk about a forgotten virtue called loyalty. And then the very next week, we're going to hit on something that in the world that we live in, you see people falling left and right. Do you not? It's no longer celebrities that you're seeing in scandals. Like you're seeing the neighbor down the street in a scandal, and it's plastered all over social media. So we're going to talk about the forgotten virtue called integrity. And then to end the series, we're going to talk about this little thing called gratitude. Because how many of you know a little thing called gratitude can change every little part of your life and can change the big picture of your life. So we're going to end the series talking about gratitude. But today we're talking about honor. Honor. The forgotten virtue of honor. And I want to illustrate it to you like this. So how many of you have ever seen the Mississippi River? You've ever seen the Mississippi River? Yeah, probably a lot of people right here, right? If you're in South Alabama, you've probably seen it. You've fished in it maybe. You've driven over it, over a bridge. You've swam in it. I don't know what your deal is. Here's how I want you to visualize that, though, is that the Mississippi River starts in a glacial lake in Minnesota. Like it is clean, crystal clear, pure water. From the top looking down, you can see the bottom of the river. Are you following me? It trickles out of a little glacial lake, and at some parts in Minnesota, you can almost jump over the Mississippi River. Right, then it starts barreling its way down throughout the U.S., and it tracks all the way down to Baton Rouge and New Orleans, rolling into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, let me change my question and ask it to you this way. How many of you have ever seen the Mississippi River in Baton Rouge or New Orleans? Let me just go ahead and tell you, if you've never seen that, it is not crystal clear. It is not pure, and you do not want to drink out of it. Come on, you don't. Something happens from Minnesota to the Gulf of Mexico. Like it tricks through all of the states and trash is everywhere and people are chunking stuff in it. And what was pure and clear at the start became muddied and messed up at the end. And I kind of think that's how virtues have become over a period of some years. They become crystal clear at one point. This is how we act. This is who we are. And these are the virtues that we have. This is who we are going to be known for. But at some point over the years, they have trekked through the rest of culture and society and thoughts of different people, and they've gotten a little bit muddy and messed up. And now you're looking around going, who are we anyway? Who are we supposed to be? In a world that is telling you what you should think how you should act, and what you should say left and right. We're all sitting here, muddied, messed up, going, who should we be? Come on, have you ever struggled over this over the past year or so? Come on, I've struggled. If I say too much, somebody's gonna be mad because I said too much. If I don't say enough, somebody's gonna be mad because I didn't say something at all. Come on, we're in a culture that is muddied and messed up and unclear. And I just wanna bring back to the forethought some forgotten virtues so that you and I can leave after this series and go, this is who we are supposed to be. In a world that's telling me left and right, I don't have to wonder, this is who it is. So we're gonna talk about it. And it's gonna talk about honor and purity and loyalty and integrity and gratitude. And I'm telling you, if me and you will get these 5 things, it will change the course of our life. It'll change the trajectory of our life. Because here's the deal, without honor, you don't walk into everything God has for you. And I want to illustrate it to you like this. How many of you, if you've been to church with you for a while, if you kind of know our story, if you're brand new, you can kind of sit back, relax. You're about to hear some of it in just a second. But if you've been here for a minute and you kind of know the story, if I asked you this question, what would you say? If I asked you the question, who started church with you, what would be your answer? 5 people around a kitchen table. 5 people around a kitchen table. Those are the people who've been here for a while. Then there'll be some other people who say, well, you and Cheyenne? But can I tell you, it goes way deeper than me and Cheyenne or 5 people around a kitchen table. This is honor. Are you ready to watch honor? I want you to see what honor does for your life. Because the people who answer, well, it's Eric and Cheyenne, well, what you don't know is you didn't see the people unloading the trailer at the rec center. Come on, you had church at the rec? Yes, we did. Was it nice? Not really. Did it stink? Pretty much like teenage boys. But at the end of the day, you didn't see the people who busted their tail hours before service happened. Unloading a trailer, setting up church, then church got over, people left and they're getting something to eat. All while a team of people were tearing down and playing Tetris, putting everything back in a trailer so that we could do it all over again next week. Come on, you didn't see those. You didn't see the band rehearsing in somebody's house because we didn't have a spot for them to rehearse during the week. Come on, if you say Eric and Cheyenne, you didn't see those people. If you would say 5 people around a kitchen table, maybe you don't remember the name Pastor David Weir in Victory Church at Pell City, Alabama, who took a chance on us when they had no reason to take a chance. And they say, hey, we'll back you. Going through our church planting network, you had to have a sponsor in church to launch and have your first service. We didn't have one. I cold called the man out of nowhere, didn't know him from Adam, and said, I would love to take you and your wife out for lunch and tell you about this church and see if you'd sponsor us. And we went out to lunch, and in that moment, he said, yeah, we'll sponsor you. Without Pastor David, we wouldn't be here. Or maybe if you would say, yeah, I knew about Pastor David. Maybe you've never heard of a church called Pauline Baptist Church in Monticello, Arkansas, who fully funded a college ministry, knowing full well they wouldn't get anything in return. Because how many of you know college students are broke? I ain't bringing nothing back to the table. I'm just a warm body. That's all I got. But they started a college ministry believing that if we could change the lives of college students, then they could change the world. And they fully funded that. And because of that, there was a pastor that took over that college ministry called Rob Leonard. And without Rob Leonard loving Jesus the way that he did and believing in people even when they didn't believe in themselves, there was a girl named Cheyenne that would have never showed up to the college ministry. And if there was a girl named Cheyenne that never showed up to the college ministry, there's a guy named Eric that would have never stayed. Everybody tracking? It wasn't like I was a Jesus freak at the moment. I was like, she's smoking hot. I'm going, wherever she goes, that's where I'm going. And if it wasn't for a girl who stuck it out in college ministry with her purity and her integrity and her character, who loved me like I'd really never felt before and believed in me from a perspective of somebody that was like behind me, I probably never would have said yes when I was sitting on the 3rd row in that college ministry one Thursday night, probably 10 o'clock. Come on, service starting at 9. That's too late for old people. But in college, you just getting started. You just woke up at 8:30, so by the time we start at 9 o'clock at night, I'd have never said yes when I felt like God said, hey, you're going to pastor a church. But see, it goes even deeper than that. Because without my mom and dad, I wouldn't be here. Because I remember some not so good decisions. I remember some not so good choices that were made. And I remember a mom and a dad who actually are sitting on the front row that prayed me through a lot of critical decisions. And if it wasn't for them, then I wouldn't be here. But if it wasn't for my dad pursuing reconciliation and forgiveness through his family, I wouldn't have a guy named Hollis Bradley to call. Whenever I felt like God called me to preach in that college ministry, I would have never had my granddad to call, to go, hey, he was the first call. Hey, I feel like God's calling me to preach. And after about 2 minutes of him sobbing and crying, he makes the statement, never put the church above your family, ever. See, if it wasn't for that pursuing reconciliation, I never would have had that. Never would have had a relationship with a granddad who prays name by name for his family for years, for them to walk into the love of Jesus and accept it. Can I tell you, when I ask the question, hey, who started church with you? Don't you dare ever say Eric and Cheyenne, because it goes way, way further back. Not only on my side, but on her side too. It's way further than that. Come on, can I give you something today? I know that's a tearjerker right at the beginning. Golly. I want to give you a thought, just a thought. Check this out. Is me and you, all of us are sitting in somebody else's sacrifice. I don't care if you think you made it on your own. You are a self-made man. You are not, sir. You are not. There was a grandmama on her knees somewhere praying for you to be successful, even if you didn't believe in Jesus and you didn't believe in what she was praying about. Somebody was there to lend something to you. I didn't have a mom and dad like that. I don't have a legacy of a family like that. Yeah, but somebody believed in you at one point. You didn't get where you are by yourself. And I think we live in a culture that thinks I made my own way, and we've forgotten all the people that have paved it before us. And when we've forgotten all that, there's a thing that comes in called dishonor. And I looked it up. I looked the definition up. I just want you to see it. Dishonor is to treat as common or ordinary. Let me take this to a personal level. You ready? You want to know how to have a common and an ordinary marriage? Just dishonor your spouse. Talk bad about them in front of people. Act like they don't do anything around the house. Come on, is this hitting you? Look, it's dishonor. When we treat something as common and ordinary, it loses honor. Now, the opposite of that would be not dishonor, but honor. The forgotten virtue of honor, to value, to respect, to highly esteem. It means to treat as precious, weighty, and valuable. And if you do that inside of a marriage, come on, somebody. Like, oh, you got 3 kids because you like kids. I honored my wife. And out of it comes fruit. Are you following? You tracking? Come on, at the end of the day, if you look at something as ordinary and as common, you'll wind up dishonoring it. But the way that you and I honor stuff is to value, to place the weight that it deserves on top of it, and to hold it in high regard. And I think we've lost that as a culture. We have lost the fact that you are an individual. You are a human made from the breath that God spoke. You are valuable. And we've lost it, and we're treating people like they're common and ordinary. Come on, I just want to help us for a little bit. Right? I want to show you a passage in Scripture. It's a story about a guy named Elijah and Elisha. Everybody say, Jah. Everybody say, shuh. All right, I'm trying to help you. Because in a minute, it's going to get confusing. You're going to be like, who did what, where? Well, I don't even know what I'm doing. All right, check out this verse. I want you to see what it did. In here, in this story, we're going to see a couple of ways that we need to show honor too, right? So this is the story. So Elijah went from there and found Elisha, son of Shaphat. He was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen, and he himself was driving the 12th pair. Now, leave that here just a second, and I want to give you some context. Elijah was a prophet who God used to do a whole bunch of miracles. He's a powerful guy. But he's getting to the end of his life, and he's looking at it, and he's going, hey, I should probably find a successor. So he's looking around to figure out who's going to be the next prophet. Like, who is he going to hand his position to? So if you look around and you read kind of the story and you study it a little bit, you'll see that there was actually this school of prophets. And you would think that if Elijah, the prophet, was going to find a successor that was going to be a prophet, the school of the prophets sounds like a great place to do it. Does it not? But for some reason, he looked at all these people who were, and he passed them up. And he's walking down the road, and he sees this guy named Elisha, who's got his hand to the plow, and he is working. And he says, that's the guy. So you know what that tells me? And what it should tell you? Is we should honor work. You didn't expect that one, did you? Like, oh, no. Like, this is a Sunday. I'm not working. What are you talking about? Like, stop talking about work. No, like, you wanted me to talk about how we treat other people, and we'll get there. But there's a reason why Elijah looked at everybody else sitting around talking about what they would do, and he said, no, I don't need that. I need to watch somebody who is already doing something. See, Jesus, when he picked his disciples and he picked guys who were already fishing. He said, hey, you're already working, which is a good thing because I don't need you to follow me because we got work to do. Come on, can I tell you, following Jesus is not a walk in the park. It is work. It is work. He called him and he says, hey, you've already got your hand to the plow. It's working. We live in a generation who is allergic to work. Come on, I just want to help you. Especially, I'm going to be my very best to pastor you if you're 18 to 35. You ready? 18 to 35. 18 to 35. Elisha was a man. He had his own life. He was not living in his mama's basement at 30. He had a job. He owned his own business. If you look back at the first part of that passage, he said he was working 12 pair of oxen, and he himself was on the 12th pair, which meant he had 11 other dudes working for him. Come on, we got to honor some work. And I know you don't like it, but it's what you were purposed for. God put a purpose inside of your life, and he said, follow me, we got work to do. So in a culture who has forgotten honor when it comes to work, can we please get it back? Let's work. Let's get after it. If there's a piece of trash on the lobby floor, somebody work and pick it up. Come on, it ain't because I'm too, that's trash. No, I'm going to honor it because it don't matter who I am. If I am too high to stick my fist down a toilet when it is clogged, then I do not need to be up here on the stage. Come on, it's work. It's honoring work. Come on, we need that. All right, the Bible says it this way. Look at 2 Thessalonians. It says, for even when we were with you, we would give you this command. If anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat. Let me tell you something. I ain't trying to not eat. I just ain't. And you ain't either. So let's get after it. We got work to do. We got work to do. Let us not lose the virtue of honoring work. Keep going in the story. Look at the next part. It says Elijah went up to him and threw his cloak around him. This is Elijah believing in Elisha. He said, hey, you got it. You're the man. God's calling you to do this. I got it. He threw it on there. Elisha then left his oxen and ran after Elijah. And he makes this statement. He says, let me kiss my father and mother goodbye. and then I will come back to you. And then Elijah responded with this, what have I done to you? Pretty much this whole, if you're a son, you have an office. You're in the office of a son, and at some point, a son starts to take care of the parents who took care of him his whole life. And Elijah goes, oh yeah, what have I done? I'm trying to remove you from a seat that you're supposed to be in for a second. And Elisha says, if you'll let me go back, I'll come back and follow you. So you know what that tells me? It tells me that we should honor our parents. We should honor our parents. You ready? If you're a student, you ready? Here we go. You should honor your parent. Honor your parent. Look at this verse right here. It says, honor your father and mother so that you may live long in the land that the Lord your God has given you. And we always make a joke about that, right? Because if you don't honor me, you ain't going to live long in the land. But this is far much greater than just me talking to students. Because you honor your parents when you're 20, 30, 40, 50. But what if my parents didn't live in a way that was worthy? What if they didn't live like your mom and dad? Let me give you another thought right here. Respect is earned, honor is given. You don't have to respect somebody who hasn't earned your respect. But they are in the office of your parent. So therefore, God says, honor your parents. Is this making sense to anybody? Come on, I believe when God looks down and he sees kids who are bad-mouthing their parents, who are dishonoring their parent, I think it breaks his heart. I think it breaks his heart to see teenagers who are so mad at their parents because they didn't get it right that they say, I hate you, just because you didn't get what you wanted. I think it breaks the heart of God. I think it breaks the heart of God when we're in our 40s and we forget to honor our parents. It's the reason why I started where I started. Without these guys, I wouldn't be here. Without these guys, I wouldn't be where I am. Come on, it's honor. We're called to honor our parents. Here's the third thing that I see through the story. Look at the next verse. It says this. It says, he took his yoke of oxen and he slaughtered them. It's talking about Elisha. He burned the plowing equipment to cook the meat. Pretty much he's going, hey, that's gone. I'm walking full heart. I'm 100% committed to what you've called me to do. He burned it all, fed the people. Then he set out to follow Elijah and became his servant. That word gets a bad rap because we think somehow that means I'm below you. But you want to know something? In order for you to be over somebody, you got to figure out how to be under somebody. Or you'll never be good when you get over somebody. It says he set out. He set out to serve him because he honored the office that he had. Which leads me to the third part right here, is we're called to honor those in authority. And it's going to get a little sketchy in here for just about a minute. Are you following? And if you're not a follower of Jesus, you can just check out and watch followers of Jesus squirm all over the room. Because this does not pertain to you. But if you are a follower of Jesus, Romans 13 tells you to honor those in authority. You know what that means? You need to honor the president. You need to stop bad-mouthing him all over the place. I told you it was going to get tense. And there'll be somebody that leaves because of this. Oh, he's a Biden voter. Or he's a Trump voter. Or he's a Republican or a Democrat. I don't care. It does not matter to me. Because I'm called to honor those who are in authority. Look at Romans 13:7. It makes this statement. It says, give everyone what you owe him. If you owe respect, then respect. If you owe honor, then honor. Remember, respect is earned. You don't have to respect somebody who has not given you the ability to earn their respect. But you honor people who are in authority positions over you. Are you tracking with me so far? So if you play sports, you honor your coach. I don't care if he's made the wrong call or not. Everybody is really good when they're sitting on their recliner. But when you are in the game, come on somebody, you honor the coach. This is where you honor your teacher, students. Come on, this is where you honor your boss. Well, I'm smarter than he is. Well, you may be, but he's your boss. So you honor people that are in authority. This is not easy to hear, and it is not easy to live out. That is why it is a forgotten virtue. This honor of going, you're going to have to earn my respect. But because of the office that you have that is over me in authority, I'm going to honor you freely. You don't earn honor, you give it freely. Right? You give it freely. But then I want to bring the last part of that last verse back up. I want to show it to you one more time. It says, then he set out to follow Elijah and became his servant. You know what Elisha's job was when he started following Elijah? Pretty much to do anything Elijah wanted him to do. We call that in the church world the junk drawer pastor. Come on, everybody's got a junk drawer, do they not? Say, hey, what's your job description? All of that. Right there that nobody wants to handle. That's what it is, right? But the Bible talks about specifically a moment where Elijah is washing his hands and Elisha has the water and he is pouring it over his dirty hands. Can you just think about that for just a second? Elijah has already came to Elisha and said, you're the man. You got it. You're called. You're loved. Your purpose. Like God's going to do something extraordinary through you. He's got something huge planned that's rolling around in his mind while he's sitting there pouring the water over Elijah's hand. It's because he learned honor. Because Elisha knew he wouldn't be there without Elijah. Elisha knew that he wouldn't walk into everything God had for him without Elijah walking him through it. And the end of the story goes, Elijah was taken up to heaven and Elisha saw it. He received a double portion of a spirit. So at the end of the day, Elijah did 8 incredible miracles and Elisha wound up doing double that. And it's because it all started with honor. It all started, come on, I want you to see. He did double the amount of miracles and it all started with a pail of water that he's going, I will wash your hands. Because without you, I wouldn't be here. Why are we such a dishonoring culture? And I think I figured out the answer. Because the answer, I believe, is because we forgot to honor God. Because true honor comes out of a relationship with God. And if you and I don't honor God, then we won't honor everybody else. If we look at God as ordinary and as common, then we'll look at everybody else as ordinary and as common. Come on, we'll look at him as just this big guy in the sky that's got all the rules. Can I tell you that's common and ordinary? Come on, we've taken him and we've boiled him down to something that we think we can figure out. Common and ordinary. That's why we have so many TikTok Pharisees. Come on, you've seen it. There are people right now who have a whole page. Their whole TikTok page is dedicated to telling what's wrong with the church, why they left the church, why they ain't going to be a part of it anymore, why they sit by their phone and they type and they do nothing to solve the problems. Doesn't that sound like the Pharisees that Jesus talked about? When you and I get there, it's because we lost honor. No, I still honor God for who he... No, that doesn't work that way. Come on, that'd be like you coming up to me and going, Eric, I love you, but I don't really like Cheyenne. Like me and you are cool, me and Cheyenne are not. Well, guess what? I hate to break it to you. Me and you aren't cool. And if you don't leave me right now, I will punch you in your face. Come on, we get that. Do you not get that? Like nobody can be your friend and hate your wife. But yet we've boiled God down to ordinary and common so much that we love God, but we hate the church. No, it's not how it works. It's not how it works. Come on, God is not ordinary. He's not common. He's valuable. He's valuable. Come on, the price that he paid for you. He's not just some big guy in the sky clueless about your life. No, he knew you. The Bible says he knows how many hairs are on your head. He gave his life for you. The blood that was shed so that you could have life and not death. He died your death only to come back and defeat the grave, sin, and hell so that you could live free. He's not the big guy in the sky. He ain't your homeboy. He's not. He is the ruling, reigning King of Kings, the Prince of Peace, and he is coming back. And he's worthy of every bit of honor. And because he gave his life for me, the only reasonable response is to come back and give my life back, and to honor, and to lift up. And when you and I choose to honor and to lift up, to highly esteem God and who he is and his authority and his position, then the way that we treat other people starts to change. Because when you don't see God as ordinary and common, you start to not see people as ordinary and common. And let me look at me. Look at me. I need you to look. I need you to look. You're valuable. Look, I'm just going to take my time. I know I got a timer back there, and we got to get out for the second service, but I want to look around the room. I need you to look up here. You're worthy. You're valuable. You're loved. You're cherished. You're chosen. Come on, God gave his son for you. Come on, you're worthy. I know that society's looking at you and it's telling you that you're not. You are. I don't see anybody else who laid down their life for you. So it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. You are loved. You are valuable. He knit you together in your mother's womb. He knew your days from the beginning of the book to the end. He valued you. So much so that he gave his son. Come on, I need you to hear that. I need you to walk away knowing that you're not common and that you're not ordinary. God would have never gave Jesus for common, ordinary people. He didn't see you that way. He saw you as his son and his daughter. And he did everything that he possibly could to come down so that he could have a relationship with you. That's honor. And if he honors you that much, then your only reasonable response is to honor him back. And when you do, it changes the life that you live. Come on, every head bowed, every eye closed. I want to stay in this moment. The band's going to come. Campus pastors are going to come. But I want you to stay right here. Listen, if you've never said yes to a relationship with Jesus, it's going to be really hard for you to honor every authority that I listed today. You'll never honor the work that he put in your life. You'll have a hard time honoring your parents. And you probably will never get to a place where you honor authority. But when you realize what he did for you, when you realize that you're valuable and that you're loved, that everybody else just wants something for you, from you, that he wants something for you. Come on, everybody else just wants to take from what you've got. They want to use you. But he's sitting there going, no, I don't want to take from you. I want to give to you. The only thing that Jesus wants to take from you is the sin that's separating you from him. And he already paid for it. So why wouldn't you just accept what he's already paid for? So if you've never said yes, we're going to give you a moment right here. Right here, whether it's in Enterprise, Ozark, Church Online. Come on, here's how we're going to do it. We're just going to ask you to lift your hand on the count of 3. If you've never said yes and you want to accept him today, we're just going to ask you to lift him up. We're not going to call you up, make you stand. This is from your heart to God's right here in this moment. So we're going to turn it over to our campuses. They're going to walk them through that, and I'm going to walk you guys. If you've never said yes, today's the moment that you have to make a decision. You're going to make a decision. Whether you want to or not, you make a decision when you walk out. You either say yes or you walk out telling him no. He gave everything for you. The only reasonable response is to give it right back. So if you've never said yes, right now on the count of 3, you ready? Just lift them up. 1, 2, 3. Come on, just lift it up. Lift it up. Keep it up for just a second. Yeah. Come on, I'm going to lead you in a prayer. There's nothing special. It's just from your heart to God. Just say this out loud. Say, Jesus, I need you. Come into my life and forgive me. I got to give you my heart. I honor you. I value you. And I surrender to your authority. I believe that you died on the cross. And I believe that you were raised from the dead. And today I give you everything. Give me brand new life. In Jesus' name. And come on, if you prayed that prayer, can I tell you that's the best decision you'll ever make? Come on, church, can we celebrate the hands that went up in the 9:30? Come on, man. That's the best decision you'll ever make. And we want to know about it, right? So as you stand to your feet right now, all around the room, if you made that, if you prayed that prayer, if that was your hand that was lifted, I just want you to grab one of those green Connect cards. I just want you to fill that thing out. There'll be a little circle on the back. When you flip it over, just say, hey, I accepted Christ today. You just turn that in. If you turn that into next steps, they'll walk you through. They'll celebrate with you. They'll be there with you. If you want to turn that in to the first time tent out front, it doesn't matter. You turn it in, you're going to get celebrated with. And come on, we're going to help you. We're going to walk you through this life that Jesus just bought for you to walk in to freedom. Come on, Father, we love you. God, we honor you in this moment. God, you came in and you changed our lives. God, we give you everything back. God, nothing is the same in us anymore since you showed up. So, God, we didn't get here by ourselves. God, we are only here by the power and the blood of Jesus. So, God, we honor you today. So, come on, church, let's honor him with our voices right now. Come on, believe it in your heart. Sing this out right now. Come on.
You shook the walls of my prison. You brought me back from the grave. You turned my mourning to dancing. Into the night I proclaim that this will be my day of victory. My chains are gone. Now I am free indeed. Every debt is paid by amazing grace. All that's left is to celebrate your love has won. Victory, our jubilee has come.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Y'all have a great week.